What's good, everybody? Welcome to House Party, a Big Brother podcast, where today we'll be recapping the entire week of gameplay. I'm Andrew Cox. Joining me as always to recap all the going-ons with these Z-listers is the man who's on my hard list, Ryan Duvall.
Hey.
Ryan, how's it going?
It's going well. We had an exciting week. I'm excited to talk about it. I'll say the excitement of the week started on Monday, and then it quickly depleted by the end of the week. So I think we have plenty to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we just came off of last night's episode, so I don't want to seem like we're, burying the lead there, but really I think the interesting stuff came on like Monday with what is, one of the most bizarre and confounding evictions I've ever seen.
I will say I saw a tweet that said, someone asked me how Celebrity Big Brother is going, and I answered, well, Tracy Turnblatt punched the lead singer of Sugar Ray in the balls after voting for Rudy Huxtable to be evicted on the grounds of breast milk depletion. And I said, if that doesn't sum up the season, then I don't know what does.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
So we'll start with Monday's episode. Some notes that I took. I was pretty proud of Julie for throwing some shade at Omarosa with that cough in the intro.
I love that.
She knew exactly what she was doing. And
she said that it was, completely overplayed her asthma thing.
Oh, she did. And you could tell it was very obvious. And she knew what she was doing. She knew exactly what she was doing. One of the surprising things was I wasn't expecting Marissa to turn on Shannon so quickly. Especially since they were friends before this.
That's true. Because I kept forgetting that they had been on that show together. But, I mean, I wasn't that surprised because she was with Ross.
Yeah, gotta do what you gotta do.
I mean, everyone was against her, so.
And we've always talked about how Mark has a big mouth and doesn't exactly know when to keep it shut. And in that episode in particular, he wanted to tell James about the plan to backdoor Shannon. And I thought, how stupid can you be? You can't tell everybody, especially those two.
Well, and then they're like, no, don't tell him. And then he was like, okay, yeah, no problem. Like, he'll do whatever at this point. And, I mean, that's good. He's doing a pretty good game.
Is he, though?
I mean, I think he is.
We'll see. I think he's just a sitting duck at this point.
I mean, I think there's plenty of people that are going to go before him.
All right, between him and Meta, who do you think will go home first?
I mean, probably him, but I think Meta's going to go pretty far.
Because he's just so useless. He's
not doing anything.
Yeah, which I would like to think that that's gameplay, but it's not. I don't think it is. There's no way. No way at all.
I mean, plenty of people have gone far or even won by doing nothing, so.
But the veto competition, that was the one where they were on the sea, on the boat. Is that what? Which one was that?
The veto, it was the knockout style.
Right, with the button.
3 answers, correct or too much or too little.
And I remember the title of that. I wrote down the title because it kind of irritated me of what they didn't do with it. I thought they missed an opportunity because they didn't say, the title of it was Now You See It, but C was spelled S-E-E and not S-E-A. And I thought, man, that was a small detail, but I thought, man, they really messed that one up. I would have definitely. And I was surprised how close Omarosa was. I really thought that she would pull that one through.
Well, the thing with that is, I was surprised that Marissa didn't throw it to either Omarosa or Keisha. Like, it didn't make any sense that she needed to win that. Like, if she was going to use it, because they were ready to take Keisha off and put up Shannon. But
in all honesty, though, it didn't matter.
Well, it ended up not mattering, but I don't think they realized that until after.
Well, in the episode after, it showed the pregame stuff of her even more so talking about, her breast milk and how she wanted to go home. So I think that idea was there, and I think it was during that competition where she realized she's like, I gotta go. I can't be here any longer, which does confuse me a little bit because she knew that at most she would be at this house in a whole month's worth if she got that far. So
Right.
that should come as no big surprise to you. And I think Brandy made a point. She's like, we all have children to feed. Like, we signed up for this. You knew what you were signing up for.
So before we get too much on the breast milk,
that's something you haven't said before.
Beginning, sort of the first half of the episode, it showed Brandy and Ari like going to Ross and sort of mentioning the plan to backdoor Shannon, which was something that I think had been on the feeds but wasn't on Sunday's episode, so people were kind of upset that they weren't like getting credit. So I don't know. What did you think about them as a team? Like
as a team, I mean, alliances this season don't really mean anything. They go on a day-to-day basis, so they're working now together, but we'll see what happens in a week. I'm not really. I'm not going to say for sure.
I think they're a lot smarter than people are.
I don't.
Other people are thinking.
I mean, I think Ross needs to slow it down a little bit because once Shannon goes, I think he might be public enemy number one because he's playing hard too.
Right, and I think if Brady and Ari didn't come with him with that plan, he would have never. He would have never
not by
done
himself.
It.
Oh no, he needed the support.
So, but anyway, yeah, let's I guess get to the breast milk.
My favorite.
We had the whole Sunday's episode and this episode building up to like a Shannon backdoor, but
right.
And then when Marissa wins the veto, it's like, oh man,
we thought it was going to happen, and then that's what confused me because there was all this like it was live, so then there was all this like yelling and like not yelling but like talking and upsetting, and I'm like, what did I miss? What's happening? And then I saw Omarosa like pull her away, and I was thinking maybe what was happening was that Keisha was begging for them to use the veto on them. And I saw like Omarosa pull her away, and I was like, ooh, she is smart. She is walking them away from it. But then I realized what was happening. And I thought that the speeches were one of the best things of the night. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When Keisha goes up first, she says, I need to go home, please vote for me. And Omarosa, in the sweetest way possible, goes, we should do what's best for Keisha. We should evict her and keep ridiculous. Me. That's what's best for her.
Which, okay, it makes no sense because you couldn't have a shorter game. So at most you've got like a week and a half.
Right.
Why would you come on
exactly.
this
thing? Exactly.
When it is like 3 weeks at the most.
What is that? That's at least the third person of the season that's talked about quitting. I'm like,
okay, so this is what I've been thinking, and what I've seen kind of thrown around is I think there's probably something like contractually where they can't just if they leave, if they just walk, they don't get their stipend. So I think they have to leave by being evicted because
she would have just left on her own.
I didn't send me home, blah blah blah. Like,
yeah,
she's doing the same thing basically, and I don't think they should have voted her out. I think they should have used the veto on her
and just like force her to stay.
The veto on her and push her up. Like, we have other plans.
That's evil.
Come on here if you worry about your breast milk.
That's true. She would have been completely useless the rest. But she also, that would have been a whole week of just listening to her complain.
Well, not even. It'd been like 2 days.
Well, that, yeah. But still, that's...
I can't wait 2 days to get evicted. It's like...
You're not playing the game right. But what I thought was weird was when Marissa, the veto winner, went in to vote, she said, I'm so mad I didn't use the veto. And I thought, well, okay, so who would you have used it on?
She was going to use it on Keisha. That was the plan. was to take her off, get her on their side, and then put Shannon up.
This was after the fact, though.
But she didn't.
So I was thinking maybe she was thinking like you. Maybe she was thinking maybe we should have just made her suffer for a few more days.
Well, that's what Brandy was wanting to do, and I thought that would make sense. Like, you can walk if you want, or we're going to take you off, and maybe next week you'll get evicted, but not if we don't want you to. Like,
everybody seemed to be on board, though. It was a 7-0 vote. Didn't really surprise me. The emotion got to everybody, and the gameplay kind of came to a halt. But then it did pick up the next episode. Actually, it started off pretty quick. It started right off with the Keisha Brandy little argument. As we were stating before, food is food. And
which, like, at what point is the baby like supposed to stop drinking breast milk?
She said that the baby was like one or two.
I don't understand. Did she leave it with like a supply of already pumped breast milk, or like, I don't know. Like, she's already been away from the baby for 2 weeks at this point.
I wouldn't think that it would go away in 2 weeks, but do what you gotta do. I also don't know anything about that, so actually all I know about all of that is what I learned this week on this show. So it does not bode well for me.
You're just educated.
And this is when we had the golf HoH. What did you think about that one?
Actually, I liked it, yeah.
There was a lot that went on in that one, and there were edits made that made me think that other people were going to win.
Well, see, I knew the whole time they were just manipulating the editing, like
they always do, right?
The ball is headed toward the hole, and they cut to the clock, and it's like, oh, but
I really thought, because they gave Meta this build up, and I thought, oh my god, he's going to win this, and it's going to be an up in the air week, and no one's going to know what's going to happen. But obviously he didn't, and I'll say that I felt bad for James. He was a millisecond.
Oh man, that would have been great.
So close, though. And that it just showed that Shannon is just paranoid. She was paranoid.
I know. She was like, gotta bounce it off the rock. Like, she was trying to help him the whole time. Like, she already knows, like, they're, because she didn't seem to know, like, throughout the veto and even this HoH comp that they were coming for her. But I think she really,
it wasn't until no one,
like, I think she could already kind of
everyone
tell.
Avoided her and didn't look her in the eye, and she said, I've been a fan of Big Brother, and I know what it means when people don't look you in the eye. And that's when she started acting. She did act a little childish. I was kind of, when she said, I'm so ready to go home, I was kind of shrugged my shoulder and said, you know what, after that I'm kind of ready for you to go home too then.
I know. And she said that, I mean, she even said that like on the second episode, like,
if you're going to curl up in a ball and quit, then whatever, your game's done then. We won't miss you.
So what'd you think about the Ari win?
She keeps surprising me. This is the same girl that I thought would be out the first week. So, and also the girl that I did not pick on my draft team. So,
and neither did I. So, none of us got, well, we won it that week, so.
No. But,
Omarosa called it the greatest golf upset in Celebrity Big Brother. So, it was the first one.
Actually, so, I mean, you can't beat it.
Automatically the greatest.
And besides from that, anything else important from that episode that you can pick up on?
Meta again talking about how they'll be sorry that they didn't send him home. I mean, it's just,
yeah, it is kind of odd, because even Shannon like asked for his help, and he said, no, I have, well, he didn't say it to her, but he said it in the DR, no, I have a vendetta against her because you wouldn't send me home.
And here's the deal, like, she won that first head of household, but it was Keisha that ended up putting up nominations, so it was not her fault.
That's true.
Like, she didn't even She hasn't done anything, basically.
That's true. But he's also so unaware of what's going on in this game that, I mean, just let him sit and ride along for a little bit, and you can easily. I mean, no one's gonna vote for him. I don't see him, even if he made it to the finale, being like, "Yeah, you played great, you deserve it."
No, I could see him winning.
Can you really? Oh,
yeah. I mean, it depends on who's with him, or what happens the next
if you
week.
get someone that's just, I mean, if he's sitting next to Omarosa or something, maybe he'd be able to pull it out. But I don't like. Pretty much everyone else sitting next to him, I could see the other person winning. But we'll just have to wait and find out.
Probably. Another thing, they're getting too much of the White House talk. Like, it's every episode now. It used to be like every other episode. Now it's like,
I was saying that too.
Every single
episode. And I feel like, that was part of the reason for getting her in the first place, is because they kind of wanted to
exactly. They want every single episode to be on the headlines.
And it is, though. It works. When you watch talk shows, they'll say, "Did you see what happened on this Big Brother when Omarosa said this?" And it's smart. It's advertising.
Every episode is a feed for something that she said, and it's not even like she was like, "Oh, you think Trump is bad? Think about Pence." It's like, this is not even remotely shocking or newsworthy. Like, are you kidding?
He Jesus talks to him. Yeah, but I mean, and they seem to put a lot of time. Those could be like little throwaway things, but they put a lot of emphasis on it, even so much as to put it in the recap. Like, that has nothing to do with the game itself.
And there was one on last night's episode, and I was like,
yeah,
one or two even, and I'm just like, this wasted too much time.
And it came out of nowhere because they were just sitting there. At least in the edit, they were just sitting there, and Brandy just goes, "Did you sleep with him?" In fact, it was so quick that even Omarosa didn't know who she was referring to. Sleep with who? Who are you talking about? Trump.
Yeah, I don't know why they even put that in the episode. So
no, it has no place for it. It's just to get that free advertising, which, go for it. You'll probably gain some viewers.
I'm sure.
Well, going back to Meta, I'm kind of so damn tired of him carrying around Orwell the owl. I kind of want someone just to hide it from him, because that's what's going to stir him up. Sadly, that's the only thing that he has attached to. So if I was in that house, I'd hide it.
And those the pink flamingos.
Yeah, so weird.
that was so funny when he was talking to the cameras.
Very little human interaction, but he goes for the inanimate objects. Whatever, dude.
He's funny. I know, and then there was a part where I'm trying to remember exactly what they were talking about, but I think Omarosa was talking to Shannon, because Shannon was upset because she didn't know she was going to be nominated, and Omarosa was like, "Oh, you were campaigning against me while I was in the hospital on IV." You're like,
on IV, Jesus, yeah, really milking that one, aren't you?
On IV from asthma attack.
But all right, so going into that though, apparently the James and Omarosa conversation, they didn't show it, and I don't have access to the live feeds. I don't do that, so I don't know if it actually happened or not. And I honestly didn't know who to believe, because both of them seem to be kind of trying to play the villain role. So I was like, who am I supporting here? Who do I trust?
I mean, I do think Omarosa was lying.
Omarosa was lying.
Definitely. But I can check the web in the feeds later.
Sure, we can come up with something.
Might be.
But that was, I think
that was probably the best part of the episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Honestly. Oh yeah. Even Brandy said, James doesn't have a good poker face, and she thinks that he's telling the truth. So we'll just have to see. I mean, I noticed that they didn't show it. There was no edit of them showing this conversation that may or may not have happened. So I thought, if they don't have any footage on it, maybe it didn't happen, because not a single solitary place in that house that doesn't have a camera. So you know that they would have caught it if it had happened.
Yeah, maybe they want to save it for the next episode or something.
I think it was just to fool with the fans like it did me. Because I know I was going back and forth thinking, well, yeah, no, maybe. Could have happened.
I mean, she lies about everything. So,
but then later in that same episode, they're like, hey, James, do you also want to join our alliance? And I'm just thinking, you guys can't pull everyone into the alliance. Like, you can't have the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And you can't have the whole house in an alliance because that doesn't work. It's going to quickly crumble.
Well, that's what he was kind of saying in the DR. He was like, I'll tell these people right now that I'm with them, but just to get to pass this eviction, basically.
Right.
Like,
I mean, that's understandable. I mean, they gave him that offer before really, laying down any rules whatsoever. Like, hey, you want to join an alliance and you get a free week? He said, yeah.
I mean, everyone like has been in an alliance at some point, and like Shannon was in like 3 alliances, and she's out the door right now. So they obviously mean nothing to anybody.
And I mean, so obviously they used the veto. James used the veto, and Mark was put up. And I don't really feel that Mark felt that he was in danger.
No, not at all.
You could just tell once Shannon did her speech, you just knew that she was down because she didn't talk a game at all during that speech. She just said, here's my charity, here's what I wanted to promote, and get out there, and I'm glad that I did. Essentially, it was just like, I did what I wanted to do, now I can leave.
Which, I mean, she already knew she was going, so I don't know. I kind of thought good for her because, these people aren't playing for charity at all. So
it's all for themselves.
He at least mentioned one.
What'd you think of Brandy's rogue vote?
Oh, I loved it.
What do you think the reason was behind it?
Who knows? I mean, I just love Hinky votes, and Brandy, I've been enjoying her more and more every episode. So.
I'm imagining she's probably gonna, stir something up. She'll probably point a finger and have everyone get in the hysteria. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, because Shannon kind of like made a little face when they revealed the vote. So I think she was kind of wondering who threw the one.
I'm sure that'll be one of the first things mentioned in the next episode is hunting down that rogue vote. Because I just don't understand the reason behind it. At this point right now, I don't understand the reason, but maybe in the next episode she'll explain herself. But right now,
I mean, it just is something. It's a tool, that you can use to.
But to who? I'm like, who are you going to use it against? Because right now, everyone is in the same alliance at this point. I think you only have, essentially 2 people that aren't really in the alliance.
I mean, all she'd have to do is like say, "Oh, Omarosa threw that vote," and then boom, there's a blow up right there.
Yeah, it's true. She better just, usually the person pointing fingers is the one that's guilty. So I'm interested to see how she goes about doing that.
What did you think about the actual competition, the veto?
Oh,
in the dark.
They did that a lot quicker than I would have. I mean, that looked confusing. And I will say when Ross was reading the instructions, I didn't quite understand what the competition,
Me neither. I basically zoned out while he was saying
If I was thrown in there, I'd be like, what is happening? Because it sounded to me that it was an eating competition because they were just talking about food and yada, yada, yada. So I was like, oh, they're going to eat it because he sat down. And then once the soup threw up in his face, I was like, okay, so they're not eating it. He just had to sit there so he could get splashed in the face with soup. It's like, all right, that's how this competition is going to go.
Yeah, it was basically just to, find the stuff in the dark as fast as possible.
It's a tricky light switch too. The hanging string.
Yeah, that was smart.
lost a lot of time for a lot of people. And thank God Omarosa had pants on.
Yeah. Oh my god. I like she was trying to be like, oh, I'm gonna come in the middle of the pack so people don't suspect me. Like, no, you could tell in that thing she was just struggling.
Yeah, it was definitely.
After the
If you're
fact, she was
losing
trying
your
to be like,
clothes
oh,
in
I
the
didn't
honey,
really try.
yeah, you're not. That's not strategy.
She's like, I don't want people to think I'm a threat. And it's like, people already don't think you're a threat. Like, they just don't like you.
I'm just glad that she's stuck around though. She's still here. She's still here
because
of breast milk depletion.
For real. Like, I thought I don't know, they could have at least got her out that time.
Yeah, I think she'll be able to stick around for a few more weeks.
So do you think if she had won that veto, she would have used it on Keisha, or would she have pulled herself down?
She would have pulled herself down.
And then they would have do you think if they put Shannon up, they would have eliminated her, or they still would have just eliminated Keisha?
I think because it was Ross as the HoH, I think he would have put up Mark or Meta, someone who wouldn't have stirred the pot, because Keisha Keisha definitely, I think, had the emotion vote in her favor since the end of that competition. So it didn't really matter. You don't want to show your cards right then and there when it doesn't have enough chance to actually make something of itself.
Man, that would have been such a good blindside, though.
It would have been, and then Keisha would have been pissed, and just a crazy. But it didn't happen. We had to wait a week, but Shannon did leave. They got what they wanted. They just had to wait a few more days.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see what happens next, because one interesting thing about this season is that, you can't really tell. It's going by pretty quick, and it's fast paced, and you don't know who's next on the chopping block.
No, it's just moving so quick.
Targets become not targets, and people who seem pretty quick and safe seem to not be. So I'm enjoying it. This is much better than season 19, I'll tell you that.
It's probably the best season since
just the fact that it took us this long to get a celebrity season surprised me.
I think they should try using this format with a full-size cast. Like if they had 16 people, but we're still doing it just as quick, it would extend the length of a season, but it would still have that
right,
the faster pace. So I wouldn't mind if they did that at some point.
Or even an all-star season. Maybe this will be enough to...
Yeah, that would be a good format, because then they could get the people back for a shorter contract time.
I could see it happening. I'm honestly surprised that hasn't happened either at the All-Star 2. They have plenty of people to do that with now.
Well, that's the thing, is what they've always said is they can't get the people that
they want.
Like some of the older seasons, it's been too long. Like, and they're not
that's
going to come back now.
You have plenty of newer people that are fan favorites that people would love to see come back. Okay, fine. You want? I would never. I've been tired of him already.
But they would bring him back, though. I don't want that.
I don't. They'd probably give him a cameo again. I feel like they might have learned their lesson after 19. Hopefully, they wouldn't do that again.
There's no way they wouldn't.
I could see, like, if I were a Big Brother producer, the people I would pick, that they would pick Frankie. You know that for a fact. I would love to see Derek, but I feel like his game the wool's already been pulled over, so it wouldn't work again. So he'd probably be useless at that point, as much as I hate to say that.
I could still see them bringing him, though.
I think Vanessa deserves another shot because she was robbed of her win. I would love to see, that was even Evil Dick, I would love to see come back. He's my favorite.
He's not coming back.
Probably not, but what was that?
And that's pretty far back too.
That's season 8, and Big All Stars was season 7. Yeah, so I mean, we're in season. I mean, season 20 is about to start, so there's plenty of seasons to pick from. They could do it.
But even like if you go back to like I don't know, I feel like it would just be like from 14 and onward. F that. Like I feel like it'd be like 15, 16, 17, 18 and 19.
That may be true, but I think that would be a good fan service. I think people would enjoy that. Even if it doesn't take place during the summer, but even do it as a, an OTT style or something.
Like in this time slot. Where
there's no need to take the summer, but just throw it in February or do it online. There's plenty of options now.
I agree. I mean, I'd watch it.
I mean, slap a Big Brother logo on anything and I'll watch it. Sadly.
I mean, it's basically year round at this point. We got the Canada edition's about to start when this is over, and the regular version will start not too long after that. So,
and well, as you say that, on another note, this Monday, are finally taking submissions for the next season of Big Brother. So, anybody out there listening who wants to be on the show, here's your chance. You can submit on CBS.com. And they said that they will announce dates for live tryouts later on. So we'll see what happens.
Are you going to put in a video?
I think I'll do both. I think I'll do a video, and I think I'll go and drive to wherever they're going.
I bet they'll do another close one.
Another what? Yeah.
Another one that's close. Like Bowling Green.
I think they'll have one in Bowling Green, Kentucky again, because they seem to be doing that one every year.
Because the one we went there, that was the second or third time they'd been there. When we went
so I would expect them to do that again, and that's worth the drive for me. I'll try it out.
It was fun. I think I'd rather do it.
And they said you could do both, and I've talked to other past house guests, and I've always asked them, like, what did you do to get picked? And a lot of them say you just have to make yourself memorable, and one of those ways is you can do both. Do a video and go film a audition with them, and make sure that you just stand out. And the more frequently they see your face, the more chance that they're probably going to remember you and pick you. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be as memorable as I can be.
I hope to see you on.
We'll
there.
go together. I've had dreams of it.
Dynamic duo.
But going into the next episode, what do you expect for the remainder of the season?
Well, okay. There was something I was trying to remember. The Big Bro bot. What is the deal with that?
I think it's like, I would assume it's like Zingbot. Is that?
It's some sort of voting thing, though, she said. Or power.
Is that so America's vote?
Looking forward to that. It's something on Twitter. I don't understand what it is.
I haven't been able to figure that one out either.
It's like you talk to it. Or
okay,
something.
So the finale of this season is February 25th. Okay.
Correct.
You still have a majority of the house left. They're really going to have to start pumping them out, because let's say
someone's going to get eliminated on Monday.
You have 6 episodes left.
Someone will get eliminated on Friday.
That's 2. Unless they...
So how many people is that?
They're going to have to do a double. They're going to have to do a few doubles.
And I think they'll go into the episode. With like 4 people still there.
As long as they can do it quickly, because I felt that this...
Or Saturday. Like Saturday, the episode will still have 4 or 5 people. And then go into the finale with 3 people.
Yeah, do a double. That makes sense. Hopefully they just do it quick and efficiently, though, because that last 2-hour episode just drug on. There was
It
no
didn't need
need
to
for
be
that.
2 hours because I thought it was going to be a live veto.
Yeah.
Which would make sense for 2 hours, but it wasn't. So
nope. So it was just a lot of
it just was
recorded
really
segments.
dragging.
Yeah. So they're going to really have to step it up if they. I'm very curious as to how they're going to do it. I'm sure they'll pull it off, but they're going to have to start chopping people as soon as possible.
I still can't believe how short it is, but yeah, it's going to kick it into high gear.
Well, anything else to add?
I think that's
all right.
I think that's about all we got.
Tune in for another episode. We got some big things prepared. Hopefully, we'll see them come to fruition.
Yep, we got some exciting stuff. So I guess we'll probably do one after.
Do it.
Let's see.
We have an episode. We have Big Brother airs Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. So we
might do a Monday one. That might make sense to do a Sunday Monday recap.
All right.
All right. We'll aim for that.
We'll see everybody next Monday then.
All right.